I was talking to a friend a couple months ago, and at one point in the conversation, we started wondering what it means when someone describes someone else as kind or nice. Nice. He's nice. She's nice. My friend's thought was that when someone uses the word nice to describe someone, when this is the leading adjective to describe someone, my friend thought that maybe there isn't a whole lot more to say about such a person. In this case, nice is just sort of a throwaway compliment, meaning like someone is just well-behaved or mannerly, like they know how to say please and thank you, or take off their shoes when they're walking into a house. He's nice, we might as well say. He doesn't yell at me or make fun of me or hit me. She's nice, we might as well be saying. She doesn't interrupt me when I'm talking, and she smiles and nods along. If you look at niceness in this way, it doesn't seem like the most exceptional quality. And we could say the same thing about the twin sister of niceness, kindness. Have you met these two twins, niceness and kindness? They work from home. They have since COVID in their basement. They've got good jobs, corporate jobs. They write emails, lots of exclamation marks. Their clothes are clean. Their teeth are white. Their kids attend immersion school. Niceness and kindness. I went to go visit them a couple weeks ago at their homes, their big homes at the end of a cul-de-sac, niceness and kindness. And in front of their homes, they have yard signs. And the yard signs say, kindness is everything. I thought that seemed a little self-congratulatory, but whatever. Maybe you've seen such yard signs. The in this house we believe yard signs. There are lots of variations and spin-offs to these signs. Most of the signs, and the most common of these signs, espouses a certain view of science and the dignity of human life. I think I like these signs. I read each line and I think, yeah, I can get behind that. Yep, sure, okay. And then I get to the last line, and it says, kindness is everything. And when I get to that last line, I think, really? Kindness is everything? Well, I'm a supporter of kindness. I've been a lifelong supporter of kindness. When I see people, I wave and greet them by name. When people are walking by the front of my house, even if they're strangers, sometimes I'll talk to them. When I go to other people's houses, I take off my shoes. After I'm done using the restroom, I put down the seat. I write people thank you cards. A couple weeks ago, 2 dogs appeared in my backyard. I didn't know who these dogs belonged to, but Walter and I, we read the tag on the dog and called the owner, and the owner came. Just last night, there was a black cat meowing in our garage. We tried to get to the bottom of that one. We visited with Mark and Peggy and Rob and Chris, who are next door. Do you know whose cat this is? We didn't know, but we were trying. I'm kind. I'm very kind. You don't need a pastor who brags about how kind he is, though, so I'll get on with it. I'm kind. Even when I read the news, when I hear about a leader who is mean, it makes me feel bad. So I go to bed and rub my back and just think kindness is everything and drift off to sleep and wake up to another day of kindness in the little gated community of kindness where I have spent my whole life. Kindness is everything. Kindness is everything. Maybe courage is everything, though. Maybe sacrifice is everything. Maybe confession and forgiveness, grace. Maybe that's what everything is. My own kids are pretty well cared for. Everything I hear from people they meet, their teachers, they report that they are kind children. This is good. Makes Holly and I feel good. But I think about when they grow up, Say they grow up and go to some nice university and meet some well-heeled spouse and major in economics and get gainful employment and live in an even smaller gated community than I have lived in, like an actual gated community. Maybe they'll go into the city a couple times a year to go to a restaurant or a show. Sometimes they'll call Holly and me on the phone. Grandma and Grandpa, we'd like to go on vacation. We'll pay for everything. Airfare, lodging. Why don't you come along? They'll be nice and kind through and through. That sounds horrible to me. I don't want my kids to grow up to be just nice and kind. I want them to grow up to be brave, to know about sacrifice, to know about grace, what it feels like to receive grace, what it feels like to give another person grace. Well, he's always been nice to me. I've never had a problem with them. Have you ever heard people use an expression like this? Normally, this serves as a rebuttal to some particular character concerns about someone else. It's a seemingly nice and non-judgmental thing to say. Oh, it's none of my business what that person does with other people. They've always been fine to me. They're nice. But then who does this leave out? It leaves out the experiences of other people who maybe don't have everything going for them that you do. Maybe other people who aren't as wise as you, who don't have as much status as you, as much money as you. Did you ever notice this in high school? Well, the guys on the football team are okay to me. They don't cause any trouble to me. But how do they treat the people who aren't very popular? The kid who smells, who's stupid. Maybe that's our standard. Not how someone treats you, but how someone treats someone else. This is what life in community is. It isn't just an estimation about your experience with another person. It's a larger view of how each of us takes care of one another. So in this regard, maybe kindness, at least from our narrow perspective, isn't everything. These reflections are inspired by today's scripture reading and the word kindness, which appears therein. It's right on the cover of your bulletin. The beautiful quote from Micah. Micah is asking rhetorically, what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God? You could probably remove the word Lord from this quotation and turn it into a yard sign. Could probably make a mint selling it to all the well-intentioned and kind people who live in the western suburbs. My family would buy one of these yard signs. And even if the owner of this yard sign did a little bit of background research and tried to figure out the origins of this quote and realized that it came from Scripture, I think they feel even relieved at the verses immediately prior to this. The verses that might just tell you, going to church isn't really the big thing. Making sacrifices isn't really the big thing. The big thing is just to do justice and be kind and put this yard sign in front of your very nice house. So I think a sign like this would sell. And even if it didn't sell because some people thought it looked like just a bunch of left-wing propaganda, we could make another sign that said, be tough, be mean, win at all costs. One of those signs would sell too. We could sell a sign. People like signs. But what is this about? This text this morning? Is it just about our own experiences? Just about our own relationships with people? What we see as kind in our narrow little lives? Mike is talking about something more. He's talking about something more than the gated communities of our souls, where we might experience kindness in our own narrow worlds. He's asking us to look outside the windows of our homes and neighborhoods to consider kindness outside of us. So kindness isn't everything, but loving kindness, that might be everything. What does it mean if you love kindness? It means that you've got something at stake. with other people. Something at stake with a kid who is stupid, who's fat, who gets teased, who's the object of ire from all the popular kids in school. You've got something at stake with them. You've got something at stake with someone who doesn't even live in your neighborhood. Someone who lives on the other side of 94. If we love kindness, our experiences in the world open up very widely. If we love kindness, we don't just make decisions or vote or live based upon our own experiences. If we love kindness, we go out into the world and encounter people who have been so beaten down and bedraggled, they might be kind of mean themselves. It's a dangerous thing to love kindness, to walk humbly with God. Because the God who has walked upon this earth, the God who is still in this world, is not most easily found in places where kindness overflows. In that cul-de-sac where I visited niceness and kindness a couple weeks ago. God is in different places. I was talking to God the other week, or at least I was trying to. I said, God, where are you? I haven't seen you for days or months or maybe even years. Look at what's happening to the world. It's going to hell in a handbasket. Where are you? God said, I haven't gone anywhere. I left you a note right there in Matthew's gospel. Didn't you see it? I said, I didn't see anything. God said, it's right there. Just the other day, I was hungry. You didn't give me anything to eat. I was thirsty. You didn't give me anything to drink. I was a stranger. Some people call me an immigrant. You didn't welcome me. I was sick. You didn't take care of me. I was in prison. You didn't visit me. I said, God, I've got this sign in my front yard, though. It says kindness is everything. God said, why don't you walk with me a bit? Do justice. Love kindness. I said, oh, I don't want to. I don't want to leave my front yard, because if I leave my front yard, maybe these people I encounter, these poor, hungry, thirsty, sick, imprisoned strangers, what does that kind of mean? Do I have to walk with you? Do I have to go where you go? Is it required? God said, yes, it's required. I'm trying to figure out if I am going to walk with the Lord.